The idea is, the Lord said to Arjuna that this yoga, this system of yoga, Bhagavad-gītā, was first spoken by me to the sun god. And the sun god explained to Manu. Manu explained to Ikkaku. And in that way, by disciplic succession, one after another, this yoga system is coming. And in course of time, this system is now lost. And therefore, I am speaking to you the very same yoga system again, the very same old yoga system of Bhagavad-gītā or Gita Upanishad, because you are my devotee and you are my friend. Therefore, it is possible for you only to understand. Now the purport is that Bhagavad-gītā is a treatise which is specially meant for the devotee of the Lord. There are three classes of transcendentalists, namely the jnani, the yogi, and the bhakta, or the impersonalist, or the meditator, or the devotees. So here it is clearly mentioned. The Lord says to Arjuna that I am speaking, or I am making you the first man of the Parampara, because the old Parampara or disciple succession is now broken. Therefore, I wish to establish again another Parampara in the same line of thought as it was coming down from the sun god to others. So you take it and you distribute it, or the system, the yoga system of Bhagavad-gītā may now be distributed through you. You become the authority of understanding Bhagavad-gītā. Now here is a direction that Bhagavad-gītā is especially instructed to Arjuna, the devotee of the Lord, the direct student of Kṛṣṇa. And not only that, he is intimately in touch with Kṛṣṇa as friend. Therefore Bhagavad-gītā is understood by a person who has similar qualities like Kṛṣṇa. That means he must be a devotee, he must be in relation, direct relationship with the Lord. As soon as one becomes a devotee of the Lord, he has a direct relationship also with the Lord. That is a subject matter, very long, but briefly it can be stated that a devotee is in relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in 5 ways. One may be a devotee in a passive state, one may be a devotee. In active state, one may be a devotee as a friend. One may be a devotee as parent, and one may be a devotee as conjugal lover. So Arjuna was a devotee in relationship with the Lord as a friend. The Lord can become a friend. Of course, this friendship and the conception of friendship which you have got in the mundane world, there is a gulf of difference. This is transcendental friendship which not that everyone will have the relationship with the Lord. Everyone has got a particular relationship with the Lord, and that particular relationship is evoked by the perfection of devotional service. At the present status of our life, we have not only forgotten the Supreme Lord, but also we have forgotten our eternal relationship with the Lord. Every living being, out of many, many millions and billions of living beings, each and every living being has got a particular relationship with the Lord eternally. That is called Sarup. Sarup. And by the process of devotional service, one can revive that Sarup of oneself. And that stage is called Sarup Siddhi, perfection of one's constitutional position. So Arjuna was a devotee, and he was in touch with the Supreme Lord in friendship. Now, this Bhagavad-gītā was explained to Arjuna, and how Arjuna accepted it, that should also be noted. How Arjuna accepted the Bhagavad-gītā is mentioned in the 10th chapter, just like Arjuna Uvacha, Parang Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, Purusam Sasatam, Divyam Adi Deva Ajang Vibhu. Ahustyam Rishaya Sarve Devarasi Naradas-tatha Asita Devala Vyasa Sayancheva Bravisime Sarvametat Ritangamanne Jat Mang Badasi Kesava Nahi Te Bhagavan Bhaktin Vidud Deva Nadanava. Now Arjuna says, after hearing Bhagavad-gītā from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he accepts Kṛṣṇa as Param Brahma, the Supreme Brahma. Brahma, every living being is Brahma. But the Supreme Living Being, or the Supreme Personality of God, is the Supreme Brahma, or Supreme Living Being. And Param Dhama means He is the supreme rest of everything. And Pavitrang. Pavitrang means he is pure from material contamination, and he is addressed as Purusam. Purusam means the supreme enjoyer. Sasatam. Sasatam means from very beginning. He is the first person. Dibbam, transcendental. Devam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ajam, never born. Vibhom, the greatest. Now, one may doubt that because Kṛṣṇa was the friend of Arjuna, therefore he might say all these things to his own friend. But Arjuna, just to drive out this kind of doubts in the mind of the readers of Bhagavad-gītā, he establishes his proposition by the authorities. He says that Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa is accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead not only by himself, Arjuna, but he is so accepted by authorities like Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa. These personalities are great personalities in distributing the Vedic knowledge. They are accepted by all acharyas. Therefore, Arjuna says that whatever you have spoken so far to me, I accept them as completely perfect. Sarvameta ritagamanni. I take it, I believe it, that whatever you have spoken, they are all right. And your personality of Godhead is very difficult to understand, and therefore you cannot be known by even the demigods. You cannot be known even by the demigods. That means the Supreme Personality Godhead cannot be known even by greater personalities than the human being. And how a human being can understand Sri Kṛṣṇa without becoming his devotee? Therefore, Bhagavad-gītā should be taken up in the spirit of devotee of Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa. One should not think that he is equal on the same level of Sri Kṛṣṇa, or one should not think that he is an ordinary personality, maybe a very great personality. No. Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, at least theoretically, on the statement of Bhagavad-gītā, or on the statement, assertion of Arjuna, the person who is trying to understand the Bhagavad-gītā, we should accept Sri Kṛṣṇa as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then with that submissive spirit, unless one receives this Bhagavad-gītā in a submissive spirit and oral reception, it is very difficult to understand Bhagavad-gītā because it is a great mystery. So, in this Bhagavad-gītā, we may survey what is this Bhagavad-gītā. This Bhagavad-gītā is meant for delivering persons from the nescience of this material existence. Every man is in difficulty in so many ways, and as Arjuna also was in difficulty in the matter of fighting the battle of Kurukshetra, and as such he surrendered unto Sri Kṛṣṇa, and therefore this Bhagavad-gītā was spoken. Similarly, not only Arjuna, but every one of us is always full of anxieties due to this material existence. Asadgraha. It is our existence is in the environment or atmosphere of non-existence. But actually, we are not non-existent. Our existence is eternal. But somewhere or other, we are put into this asat. Asat means which does not exist. Now, out of so many human beings who are actually inquiring about his position as to what he is, why he is put into this awkward position of suffering. Unless one is awakened to this position, that why I am suffering, I do not want all these sufferings. I have tried to make a solution of all these sufferings, but I have failed. Unless one is in that position, he is not to be considered a perfect human being. Humanity begins when this sort of inquiries are awakened in one's mind. In the Brahma Sutra, this inquiry is called Brahma Jignasa, Athātu Brahma Jignasa. And every activity of a human being is to be considered a failure without having this inquiry in his mind. So, persons who have awakened this inquiry into his mind as to what I am, why I am suffering, where from I have come, or where I shall go after death. When these inquiries come or awaken in the mind of a sane human being, then he is practically the right student for understanding Bhagavad-gītā. And he must be Saddhavan. Saddhavan. He must have a respect, a firm respect in the Supreme Personality of God. Such a person, as the ideal person was Arjuna. So Lord Kṛṣṇa, he descends, jada jada hi dharmasya glani bhavati. just to establish the real purpose of life. When man forgets the real purpose of life, the mission of human form of life, then it is called dharmasya glani, the disturbance of the occupation of human being. So, in that circumstances, out of many human beings who awakens, one who awakens the spirit of understanding his position, for him this Bhagavad-gītā is spoken. We are just like swallowed by the tigress of missiles, and Lord being causelessly merciful upon the living entities, especially for the human being, he spoke Bhagavad-gītā, making his friend Arjuna as the student. Arjuna was certainly being an associate of Lord Kṛṣṇa. He was above all ignorance, but still Arjuna was put into ignorance in the battlefield of Kurukshetra just to question about the problems of life to the Supreme Lord, so that the Lord can explain them for the benefit of future generation of human beings, to chalk out the plan of his life and act in that way, so that his life, his mission of human life can be perfect.